I was reminded of a couple of videos that I saw a few years back by a wood turner that, a YouTube turner that I really think a lot of. He's one of my favorites. He hasn't posted anything in a few years and I hope he's okay. But that's Robbie the wood turner. He turned a number of off-center and twisted boxes. And so that's what this juniper is going to become. I'm going to turn it down into an actual cylinder, smooth the sides up where it's now sweeping. And I think I can get two boxes out of this. One of them I'm going to turn just three-sided and use this oak burl for a lid. So if you haven't seen Robbie's videos on how to do that, check them out. But I'll show you how I'm going to go about using his method. I'm doing this in homage of Robbie. So let's see where we go.
For the safety police, I'm wearing my shield.
Cut this off with the bandsaw. I need to cut the same size tenon over here. Now what you want to do is you want to divide this into 120 degree, equal 120 degree segments. Two, it doesn't really matter what order you go around, as long as they're the same on both sides. So this is two, this is two, 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 lines up. Three, three, lines up. We're going to put this in number one and number one. Now these are about the same, and you want to mark them, because when we turn that side down, we're only going to turn down to right there. Put my face shield back on,
And let's get to turning.
turn the lathe down. Going about 560 RPM.
And I'm watching the shadow. Yep, I'm at my marks. I just need to smooth that up.
I'll sand this by hand. You don't want to sand it running because you'll round the corners and lose the definition. There's no use to waste time and card space with you watching me hand sand, so when I get this sanded, I'll come back. Alright, I sanded it, got sanding sealer on it. Turn it to number two and do it again. Got the sanding sealer on it, sanded up. Now let's move it to hole number three.
I'm not happy with that right there, so I'm probably going to round this off just a little.
Time for some sanding and I'll be back. So I've got this turned to my three-sided shape. Now I'll mount it in the chuck and start hollowing the inside. Now, take this little darling, turn this Liveoak burl into a lid. So I'm going to fill these. You've seen me fill this stuff before. I'll do it off camera. So now I'm going to start turning the piece of the lid. Stay sealed in place. Now I can turn this around into the chuck, finish the bottom of the lid, then I'll turn it back around and finish out the top. But I don't want to finish off the bottom. I can turn it around now, but I don't want to really finish off the bottom until the box itself is done and I can refit and make sure everything's right. Well, that burl's going to be pretty. The only problem with antique oil is you have to wait 24 hours between coats for it to dry. So I'll put another coat on this tomorrow. My bad. I got excited and started turning the lid before I turned the camera on. So I turned it around and I'm shaping now. Over the next couple of days, I'll put a couple of coats on. I'll probably go at 3 or 4 total. Look how pretty that is. That's a pretty piece of burl. Okay, I've got it chucked up. Got tape on the jaws. And I didn't tighten it with very much pressure, so I'm going to leave the tailstock on as long as I can. If I do this right, I'm going to cut this bottom off from here, concave it a little bit. But if I do this, and then I'm going to take this out, if I do this right, I'll be left with 3 legs. If my measurements were right in the first place, I'll be left with 3 legs of basically the same size. that's what happens when you get the bottom too thin. And when you've been turning with no sleep. I cut this piece off of that Liveoak burl, and I'm going to fashion a pedestal. It's only going to be about half as tall as this is long. But first thing we got to do is chuck it up and get it round. So let's go. All right, let's chuck it up and get going.
There's a time and a place for carbide, and this is it.
And it's giving me a cleaner cut. That's funny. The grain is kind of like this in this tree. Here I'm cutting downhill. Here I'm cutting uphill. Can't win. But it's not actually mirrored sides either. That's like 1/3 and 1/3. This side over here is just fine. But that's right, I just need it round for now. Not bad at all.
Yeah, halfway will be all right.
Go whack that off with the bandsaw and I'll be back as soon as I dig it out from behind here. Okay, got it cut off, and I had already sized this to fit in this hole. So it's good, there's no play. So all I need to do is take this off and kind of cup it a little bit. And that is perfect. Oh, lovely.
Cut this off with the bandsaw.
I need to cut the same size tenon over here. Sorry about that. Battery died. I've been trying to keep a better eye on it. This time I was unsuccessful. You just finished me. All you missed was me finalizing the shape on this. It's now time to sand it up. I'm going to sand this up through 400 and I'll be back. There's no sense in videoing that. Okay, time for my sanding sealer. I've got the bottom cut and fits. Nice and tight. It's not a perfect match between the two, and you'll see a better picture because this part of the Liveoak didn't burl up as much, so it's not as dark, but that oil may darken it up a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. All right, let's glue it up. This to hold some pressure on it while I'm gluing it. I'll let this cure up for an hour or so, And then I'll come back and make this flow into the pedestal like it does the lid. We'll be back after this is set up for a few hours. I will still keep pressure on it here while I'm turning it. Okay, let's see if I can make that match. Oh, this thing is not meant to be. Well, that's not what I intended, but I'm going to sand this up anyway and use it like it is. It's still going to work. Okay, got the outside sanded, went through a little design change. While that's drying, I'm going to try to gently scrape the inside. That's actually not going to look too bad. Not bad at all. Could it be better? Yeah, loads. Since I used the antique oil on the lid, apply a coat of antique oil. Tomorrow put on another and then part it off. I'll be back. Okay, this little box is about done. I've got 2 coats of antique oil finish on it. I'm gonna part it off, turn around, finish the bottom, and then we'll buff it out. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to put some wide rubber bands around this chuck because the jaws are serrated and I don't want to mar the inside of the bowl when I'm turning the bottom off. So I'm going to take a couple of these wide rubber bands and cover the serrations of the jaws. I don't want to tighten it too much because I don't want to blow this apart. That juniper is pretty fragile. It's brittle, not fragile. So with all my cutting, I'm going to be pushing in. Okay, the bottom is convex. So let's buff it up. Well, I have to tell you, it's pretty, but I'm not fond of this finish. So I'm gonna sand it off and I'm gonna shoot it with polyacrylic. That'll fix it, and I'll be back. Let that dry. Alright, I'll let that dry for a half hour, then maybe put another coat on those and just keep going throughout the day. Okay, I got 2 coats on the bottom, or on the inside of the lid. I got 2 coats on the bottom of the bowl. I'm happy with it. Another 30 minutes, I'll come back, put on another coat, see what we look like. Just put my 4th coat of polyacrylic on. I'll let this cure for 24 hours. I'll buff it out and we should be good to go. Well, here it is. It's different. Got this pedestal on it as I promised. Like I said, it's a little bit different. When I was working on rounding over these corners like these, down here so it would match the base or fit the base, it kind of argued with me a little bit. So this is the shape that resulted, and to be honest with you, I like it better. There's that Juniper box finished up with a pedestal on it. They're the offcuts of that big piece of burl weren't really burly like the burl lid, but it is all live oak, and if I say so myself, I think it looks pretty good. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. That'll really help us out trying to build this channel, and y'all come back and see us. Thanks.